Hello everyone. Today I wanted to give you a tutorial on SQLite and R and how you can use SQLite database with R and develop your application. And my name is Ankan Basu. Let's go to the second slide. Why SQLite? SQLite is a very lightweight database and it's very great for a test environment. If you're developing something, if you have a great idea, you can just use it. Not much configuration is needed and it's very easy to install. Now there is the link to the SQLite official website. You can go there and learn more about the database. It was developed in C language and today is the most used database engine in the world. The format is stable, cross-platform and backward compatible, and that's very important. So that's about SQLite. So let's see what you need to set up a SQLite database in your R environment. Okay, SQLite database are in R to prove a DBI compliant interface. So two packages that you absolutely need are the dbi package and the RSQLite package. And let's go to R. And the way to install it, you just click on the install button over here and you do dbi, you search for it. I already have the dbi, and you just click the install button in here, you get the package, and similarly you'll do SQ or RSQLite, that's the package, and you will hit install to install your package to your system. By the way, I'm using a Ubuntu 19 system, but you can pretty much use anything, Windows, Linux, any other version of it. So once you have this installed, you should be ready to use the SQLite package with R. One other quick note: if you want to use the dev tool, you can also use the latest version of the RSQLite package from the dev tools, which is in the GitHub. Now, so first thing, when you are developing your code in R and you want to connect to the SQLite database, you need to set up and create a connection. That's pretty much any database works with any programming languages. So you start with this library dbi, so that gets all the library that's required for your database connections. And if you need a quick in-memory database, like you don't want to save anything, you just want to create a temporary connection and play around with bunch of commands, and when you're done, you just automatically delete the data, you can use that. Okay, once you do that, you can like run commands like db list tables to the connection to list all the tables. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a table for us, a database for us, and we're gonna save some of the data and do CRUD operations, and that's what I really want you to teach today. To do that, the command that you will run is mydb dbConnect SQLite, and then whatever the name of the database that you want. I'm just gonna create a simple customer database, so I'm just naming it customerdb.sqlite. Okay, to disconnect my database, I would run the dbDisconnect, and if I want unlinked, I do unlinked. So that's you should be putting in pretty much all of your database connections at the end of your code. You should have these two lines. Now, one thing I would recommend that set your working directory to the directory that you're working on. Once you run this command, it's going to create the database file, and if you're not setting up the file, it's going to put and create the database in a weird directory that's your home default R directory. So I would highly recommend that you do this thing first before doing anything else. Okay, so let's do some hands-on. So you can see I was already testing some of the code. So if I do a ls, you see that I have already got a database customerdb.sqlite. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove this database, okay, because I want to start from scratch. So now it's removed. So if I do a ls on it, I only have one file where I have my code. I'm gonna rerun my code to show you guys everything. So first thing here, I am importing the library as I said. So if I run this, the library is now loaded. Okay, and what I want to do, I set the directory to the directory where I'm working on, and just to make sure that it's the right directory, I'm going to do the get directory command as well to make sure that I'm in here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create new database. Okay, SQLite database. Okay, so that's the command that I'm going to run, customerdb dbConnect RSQLite, and then the customerdb.sqlite. So if you see, if I run this command, so there is no error, and if I go back over here and do ls again, you see that that database is now created back again. So that should not have anything in that. It's just a blank database. There's no table, no databases, nothing in there. It's just completely blank. Okay, so this command, I kept it here. It's a drop command. So say I'm going to create a new table inside this customer database. If I already had a table by chance called customers, this command will take care of it. It will drop the table and let me create a brand new one. Okay, so drop command in RSQLite. Okay, so to create a table is pretty easy. So create a table. The command that you want to know is dbExecute. Okay, so that dbExecute is picking up this customer DB, that database that we have created. In that database, we want to create a table customer, and this is just simple SQL command, create table customer. And what I want to do, I want to create an ID that should be an integer primary key, and I want to auto increment that, and that's pretty standard. And for the customers, I want to save the first name. It's going to be a text type, data type, and last name going to be a text data type. And I also am going to save email, which is also be another text data type. It's going to be a very simple table for us. So let's run that line, and make sure that that line is actually run. Okay, so that now that table is now created. Okay, and 0 means the table doesn't have anything in it. It's just a blank table. And to prove that, I'm going to run this is the select one. Whenever you're writing a select statement, and we'll do some select statement, we'll be using the dbGetQuery. Okay, so selecting data from tables. Okay, all right, so this if I do this, it should not return anything. It's telling me I have a ID column, first name column, last name column, and email column. You can see it over here at the bottom. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see. And it's saying 0 rows. There's nothing there. So far I have shown you how to insert the library, how to set up your path, and then how to create a SQL database from your command line, then how to create the table. And now, just to make sure this drop command works, I'm gonna run this command just right now, and you see that that command has also been executed without any error. So if you try to run this query again, you should probably get an error and no such table or customer, because I have already dropped that table. Alright, so let's recreate the table, because we will be using the table to insert some data. So let's do that. Okay, so inserting data is pretty simple, and I have just 3 different data records that I'm going to insert, and I just formatted it a little differently, just to tell you guys that you can use double quotes at the outside or a single quote at the outside. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're consistent. How you are breaking up your line also didn't matter too much. So you can just be consistent. see which type and formatting you like, and then just enter it. Okay, so begin, but you'll be using the dbExecute. You'll be selecting the database where you want to enter the data. Let's see, create a table, customer DB. Okay, create table customers. So customers is the table where we are going to insert all the data, right? So here again, you're telling in the database, insert into customers, okay, and I'm specifying let's insert first name, last name, and email, and I'm not doing ID because ID I already set it to auto increment, so it should automatically assign the IDs for me. So let's just run this one first. Okay, that didn't give me any errors. I'm pretty confident it's went successfully. So let's do the other two, just run it. So both of them just no error. So now let's get and select everything again. Get dbQuery from this database, and then from this table select everything. So you should see 3 rows at this time. Alright, so ID, as I said, they're all auto increment, so 1, 2, 3, and these are the names and email addresses associated with the 3 records. So far I have shown you how to create database, how to create connection, how to drop a table, and how to create table and insert table. So in the CRUD operations, you also need to sometimes do update the record. So say I want to update the record for 1, that's Ankan Basu, my name. I want to change that where ID is 1. I want to update that to UpdatedAnkan, that's the first name. And again, you can use, and for the updating, you can just, again, this is SQL command, so update customer, so that's the table. Set first name is UpdatedAnkan, where ID is 1. So this where clause is important for update commands, and you only want to select a particular row or based on you. Sometimes you update more rows, but usually it meets certain criteria. That's when you actually update. But so this is the command that you would run. So for here, I just want to change my name, so I'm selecting the person, the record with the ID is 1, and I'm gonna update that record. So let's just do that. So I just did it. Let's run this select query again to find everything. I only have 3 records, so you can see that UpdatedAnkan is now here, properly updated. So the last thing in a CRUD operation is the delete. So if I now want to delete that ID, that record with 1, I can still do the same thing, dbExecute customerdb delete from customers where ID equals to 1. Okay, let's run this, and then let's see how many records we got. And now you see the ID 1 is now gone. UpdatedAnkan is now gone. You have only 2 records left. So far you have pretty much, I have shown you guys how to do the CRUD operations: create database, update database, delete database, and even drop the table. Now if you already have a database or a table in your R, you can, there are some other things that you can do. I'm just going to show a couple of commands here that's directly coming from the PDF document that came with this RSQLite. So let's create another connection to the sample database that came with this package, and you can do this dbList table command on it. So that table, it lists all the tables that you have in a database. For example, if I run this command on our database, it should only give you customerdb only give you 1 table. There we go. That's a default table that it gets created. So customer is the only table that we created. You can also read everything this way as well. So if you use this command, so you go to read table db to the database, and then to CO2, it's gonna give you everything on that particular table. Similarly, you can also use this to create and get data from your table, which is customer table, customers, and for your case it's customerdb, right? So if you can run this command, there we go. You can also use that on your own table. Querying, it's you can go a lot of different stuff. db select from CO2 where concentration less than 100. You can use different columns to do different things. It's more like a SQL expressions. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but just know that you can do a lot of stuff like this. You can even copy one table to another, and just like that, if you have already a table, you can write this and it will. This one actually gave me some trouble, probably I'm not, so I'm just gonna change this to db and db, because I don't have a connection here. So I can now run these two commands, and it just copied everything for me. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys. There are some other commands that if you open up the PDF, it will show you how to do some more stuff. But my main idea was to show you guys how to do this operations properly. So you know how to do the CRUD operations, how to create table, insert records, update them, delete records, and drop table. Hope you like this video. If you like it, give me a like and subscribe. Thank you.